Hi there, awesome person. It's the voice of Bob, here with another fanciful feast of fun that we found on the internet. Now, I know you're probably quarantined. You're probably there by your lonesome, so I'd ask you to just sit yourself back, feet propped up, put on those listening ears of yours. I'll be back right after this. We're going to have a little bit of fun today. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Thanks for joining us for Other People's Mistakes. Now, this is the YouTube channel where we go out onto Reddit and we find fantastic stories. We bring them to you for your enjoyment. Now, this particular story comes from the MaliciousCompliance subreddit, and it is penned by Reddit user Jam and Cream. The title of his story, you want me to put it in writing? Oh, I'll put it in writing. Get ready. Here we go. I just love this sub, and I have a story of my own that I've been meaning to share for a while. I used to work IT tech support for a large company, and it was my first proper job. As such, I started as an apprentice. This story takes place about a year into my apprenticeship, so I still had much to learn. On this particular week, I was working the shift that started an hour earlier than everyone else, as I was solely responsible for support before everyone else arrived at 9 a.m. My manager sent me on a job quite a few miles south. It was going to take 2-ish days. On Monday, I informed my manager I'd be leaving Wednesday afternoon and coming back Friday afternoon, and he'd need to cover my shift. It isn't my responsibility, and I didn't need to say anything, but I thought I'd help him out by giving him a nudge. Mike, I'm on earlies this week, so someone will need to cover my shift Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Cheers, mate. It came to Wednesday, and I suspected he hadn't arranged anything, so I thought I'd give him another nudge, genuinely trying to help the guy out. Mike, just letting you know that my early shift will need covering for the rest of the week. Ah, right you are. Thanks, pal. So off I went on the Wednesday, thinking I was doing a great job in keeping everyone in the loop. We knocked the job out of the park and finished by Thursday afternoon, so I head to the hotel and enjoy some sweet, sweet expenses. Friday morning, I head out in a rental they'd given me for the trip and start the journey back to head office. I get a call from my manager. Where are you? Heading back, I've just set off. I'll be back in the... I don't see anything in your calendar. I didn't put anything in it. I told the finance director came in this morning and couldn't access the system, and you were supposed to be here for 8 a.m. I told you, speak to me when you get back. The finance director happens to be my boss's boss. Not a dude you want to tick off. And he was ticked off. Turned out his network cable had somehow come loose, kicked, and couldn't access the network. He sat stewing from 7 a.m., expecting someone to arrive by 8 and fix it, only to have no one turn up until 8:45. The head of IT, my boss's boss, who took a fair few expletives on the chin. I arrived back at the office as planned, expected, and informed Friday afternoon. My manager calls me over and gives me a lecture on the importance of communication. I tell him, I told you Wednesday I'd be back Friday afternoon and my shift would need covering. He couldn't even look at me as he says the following in the most condescending manner possible, loud enough for the head of IT to hear. I don't know, Jam and Cream. I've got a pretty good memory, and I do not recall that conversation. Then sends me to the head of IT, who gives me a bit of a sterner lecture on the importance of communication. The word disappointed was mentioned. I go back to my desk defeated. My victory in the South, quashed and sullied. My manager finishes the barrage. Next time, put it in the calendar and tell everyone in writing. The words ricocheted around my mind for a while until they settled and sat imprinted in my brain. I chalked this up to a learning experience and carried on. Fast forward a few months later, the words lay dormant until a bizarrely similar situation occurs. I was sent on a job for a few days and was returning, once again, on a Friday afternoon, and it just so happened to fall in a week when I was doing the early shift. As soon as I heard about the job, the words sprang back into life. Put it in the calendar. Tell everyone in writing. Now, I could have put the details of my trip into my personal calendar, but I thought, why not enter it into the IT department's shared calendar, which the head of IT is part of? And when telling everyone in writing, surely that means everyone involved the last time. The IT department, and of course, the finance director. So I send off an email to my manager with the IT department, and just for fun, the finance director copied in. Something like, "Hi Mike, as you are already aware, I'll be working down south this week until Friday afternoon. I'm on the early shift, so this will need covering while I'm away." Some of my colleagues asked what that was about, and I informed them about my manager's memory issues. They smirk and continue working. I complete the job and arrive back Friday afternoon exactly like before. And like before, the finance director came in early. And unbelievably, like before, he had issues getting onto the system. Choice expletives were shared. Words were had. But not with me. I only knew stuff had hit the fan when a colleague pulled me to one side and told me why Mike was in such a foul mood. In classic British style, he never said a word to me. And never has silence felt so vindicating. So there you have it. Oh, I see it. You've got a little smile coming up on your face. That's right, these are trying times, but as we've said before, sometimes you just gotta find something to make you smile. How about you? Have you had a situation like this? Maybe a little miscommunication between engaged parties? Well, do us a favor. Let us know your story. We really do love to hear from you. We want to hear your story down in the comments below. And also down below, you'll probably find links to where we are on your favorite social media platforms, so feel free to connect with us there too. As with any YouTube channel, we hope you'll feel free to like and subscribe. But more importantly, stay safe and let your friends know what you've learned from other people's mistakes. Thanks for being awesome.